Have you ever wondered why some cars feel like they have a soul? Why a vehicle like the Suzuki Jimny, small, boxy, and simple, has such a loyal global following, while bigger, faster, more expensive trucks often come and go without leaving a trace? This isn't just about design or horsepower. It's about something deeper, something psychological. Stick with us until the end of this video, and you'll understand why the new Suzuki Jimny Pickup isn't just another upgrade. It's a revolution built on emotional connection, human instinct, and raw driving character. We promise, by the end, you'll never look at small pickups the same way again. Let's start with a strange truth. Humans don't always love the most logical things. We love what makes us feel something. The Suzuki Jimny has been doing this since its early models, delivering not just function, but identity. It's more than transport. It's a personality on four wheels. Why is this? It begins with the psychology of nostalgia. The Jimny's design is unapologetically retro. Square lines, exposed hinges, a tall, upright stance. According to psychological studies, especially the work of Dr. Konstantin Sedekidis on nostalgia, people are deeply drawn to objects that remind them of simpler times. The Jimny's look triggers memories, even for those who never owned one. It reminds us of old 4x4s, toy cars, adventures, and freedom. That's not an accident, it's emotional engineering. But it's not just looks. It's about what the Jimny stands for. In a world full of oversized, overcomplicated trucks, the Jimny is a symbol of rebellion, of minimalism. This taps into a powerful psychological trigger: authenticity. People crave realness. When everything becomes polished and perfect, we start searching for the raw and unfiltered. The Jimny doesn't pretend. It doesn't flex. It shows up as it is, compact, capable, and confident. This connects to what psychologists call the underdog effect. According to research published in the Journal of Consumer Research, people feel more emotionally attached to brands and products that are perceived as underdogs. The Jimny is that underdog. It's not the biggest, not the fastest, but it earns its place with heart, resilience, and grit. And that makes car lovers root for it, not just respect it. Think about the feeling of driving off-road. No rules, no traffic, just you, the engine, and a rough trail. That sense of adventure, of breaking away, taps directly into a human psychological need called autonomy. According to self-determination theory Deci and Ryan 2000, autonomy is one of the three essential needs that drive motivation and fulfillment. When someone drives a Jimny, especially off the beaten path, they're not just exploring the outdoors, they're satisfying a deep internal desire to be in control, to be free. Now, as the Jimny transitions into a pickup version, these psychological connections become even more powerful. But even before we get there, we need to understand one more thing: the IKEA effect. Coined by researchers Michael Norton and Dan Ariely, this principle explains why people value something more when they've had to work for it. The Jimny is a driver's car. It doesn't pamper. It engages. You feel every bump. You fight for every climb. But that struggle makes the experience feel earned. That's why owners are so loyal, because the car makes them part of the journey, not just a passenger in it. Another powerful emotional layer is the sense of tribe. Car enthusiasts don't just admire vehicles, they form identities around them. The Jimny community is tight-knit, passionate, and global, and it operates on the psychology of shared values. People don't just say, "I like this car." They say, "I'm a Jimny person." That's identity-level commitment. That's belonging. All of this creates a strong emotional architecture around the Jimny. And when a vehicle becomes this emotionally resonant, any evolution, like turning it into a pickup, doesn't just feel like a technical update. It feels like a milestone, a step forward in a story people already care deeply about. Car lovers aren't just obsessed with torque, suspension, or payload numbers. They're driven by what those things represent: power, independence, utility, self-expression. And the Jimny gives them all that, in a package that doesn't feel manufactured for the masses. It feels built for the individual, for the kind of driver who values simplicity, not superficiality. And that's a rare thing today. That's why people love the Jimny. That's why the new pickup version has sparked so much buzz even before it fully rolls out globally. Because it's not just another truck, it's an emotional tool, a personality enhancer, a symbol. If you've ever driven something that made you feel alive, like it understood you, even if it wasn't the biggest or most powerful, then you already understand what makes the Jimny special. It's that same feeling, multiplied. And now, with the pickup variant, Suzuki is taking all of that emotional DNA and applying it to something even more functional, even more adaptable. But how? What exactly makes this version different? And what kind of shift could it create in the pickup world? That's what we're about to dive into. The moment Suzuki introduced the pickup version of the Jimny, it wasn't just a new body style, it was a statement of purpose. At first glance, it might seem like a small utility change. A compact SUV turned into a mini truck. But when you unpack what's really happening here, both technically and emotionally, it becomes clear that this shift is far more significant than it looks. The transformation begins with the extended wheelbase, a key change that redefines the Jimny's physical presence. While the classic Jimny has always been known for its ultra-compact dimensions, the pickup variant stretches the chassis, giving it a longer footprint. This change might seem simple, but psychologically, it signals maturity. In design psychology, extension implies capacity, growth, and readiness. And that's exactly what this vehicle is communicating to drivers. It's not just fun anymore, it's capable. Functionally, the rear section has been replaced with a flatbed cargo area, turning the Jimny into a practical hauler. This flatbed, while compact, opens up a world of utility. For farmers, outdoor workers, and urban explorers, it adds functional depth without sacrificing the Jimny's core identity. According to utility-based design theory, function adds perceived value. When a product retains its character while becoming more useful, it enters a higher psychological category. Not just liked, but trusted. Yet Suzuki didn't just stretch the Jimny and throw on a truck bed. They kept the essence of what made it special. The round headlights, the upright windshield, the exposed fender flares. These remain untouched. This is critical. Consistency in visual language maintains emotional continuity. It's the same reason people feel attached to legacy brands like Jeep or Land Rover. When evolution doesn't erase personality, loyalty strengthens. Underneath, the Jimny Pickup continues with its ladder frame construction, a rare feature in this size category. Most small pickups today have unibody designs, which prioritize on road comfort but compromise durability. The ladder frame tells a different story, one of resilience, modularity, and rugged strength. According to engineering psychology, visible durability creates an unconscious sense of safety. It tells the driver, this vehicle can take a hit and keep going. Then there's the part-time four-wheel drive system, low-range gearbox included. No dilution here. Suzuki has retained full off-road credibility. This taps into what psychologists call control appeal, the sense that you, the driver, are the master of the machine, not the other way around. In an age of automated driving aids and over-sanitized vehicles, the Jimny Pickup invites drivers to be fully engaged, to shift, to steer, to wrestle terrain. That emotional invitation is rare and powerful. The size factor adds a whole new psychological layer. Most pickups today are massive, harder to park, wider than needed, and intimidating in urban settings. The Jimny Pickup offers a counter-narrative. It's compact but capable. And that balance speaks to drivers who want practicality without stress. In psychological terms, this is called cognitive ease, when a product fits into your life seamlessly, reducing friction. That ease creates satisfaction even before the engine starts. Inside the cabin, the design remains minimalistic. Hard plastic, simple controls, analog dials. While some may see this as outdated, car lovers recognize it as honest design. No distractions, no unnecessary digital clutter. Just pure driving tools. This form of functional minimalism is deeply satisfying to a certain kind of driver, someone who values clarity, purpose, and connection over surface gloss. Studies in product psychology show that humans are more emotionally attached to interfaces they understand intuitively. The Jimny's interior speaks that language fluently. And then there's the emotional paradox. Despite its simplicity, the Jimny Pickup feels special. Not because it tries to impress, but because it refuses to conform. This plays directly into a psychological principle called distinctiveness motivation, the human desire to stand out, but in a meaningful, non-flashy way. Driving a Jimny Pickup says, I know what I like. I'm not following trends, I'm following purpose. Another layer that cannot be ignored is the versatility. This isn't a luxury show truck. It's a working vehicle that can handle dirt trails, urban errands, or light-hauling duties without breaking a sweat. And because it remains light and narrow, it offers access where full-size trucks can't even turn. This ability to go where others can't creates a sense of empowerment, a key emotional trigger in automotive psychology. It tells the owner, you can do more, go farther, and need less. What Suzuki has done with the Jimny Pickup is create a bridge, a crossover not between SUV and truck, but between emotion and utility, heritage and function, simplicity and relevance. It doesn't scream for attention, but it demands respect. It's the kind of vehicle that becomes part of your life rhythm, not just something you drive, but something you rely on. When car lovers look at this new variant, they don't just see hardware upgrades. They feel identity. They imagine scenarios, weekend getaways, muddy trails, urban deliveries, minimalist road trips. And that kind of mental visualization is the beginning of emotional investment. Neuroscience research shows that when people imagine themselves using a product successfully, they're far more likely to develop lasting emotional bonds with it. That's why this pickup matters. It's not just a Jimny with a bed. It's a new tool for people who already saw the Jimny as an extension of their personality. It adds depth without losing soul. It offers more options without becoming generic. And in a market full of excess, that kind of restraint is revolutionary. Now imagine what happens when a vehicle like this starts changing the way people think about pickups altogether. When it doesn't just offer a new format, but challenges the whole category's idea of what a pickup should be. Every now and then, a vehicle enters the market not to compete, but to redefine the rules. The Suzuki Jimny Pickup does exactly that. It doesn't follow the traditional formula of a modern pickup truck, and that's where its power lies. In a world where size often equals dominance and complexity is marketed as luxury, this compact, straightforward machine delivers something radically different: clarity. The pickup market has long been dominated by vehicles that are bigger, bolder, and bulkier. Full-size trucks with oversized grills, aggressive bodywork, and digital-heavy interiors have shaped public perception. These vehicles appeal to status, power, and presence, but they also bring weight, expense, and intimidation. The Jimny Pickup doesn't try to match that energy. Instead, it breaks the pattern completely, and psychologically, that's where it captures attention. According to the contrast bias principle in psychology, when something drastically deviates from the norm, it becomes more noticeable and more memorable. This is why the Jimny Pickup makes such a strong impression. In a lineup of massive trucks, its compact form, retro styling, and modest attitude stand out instantly. People notice it not in spite of its size, but because of it. And in a saturated market, attention is everything. The von Restorff effect, also known as the isolation effect, supports this idea even further. Studies show that when one item in a group is significantly different, people remember it more vividly. The Jimny Pickup doesn't just blend in, it's the outlier. It represents a different philosophy, not just about driving, but about living. This isn't a truck for show, it's a truck for purpose. By keeping things simple, Suzuki has created a pickup that is relatable. The vehicle doesn't posture or pretend. It feels accessible. Drivers don't have to prove anything to own it. That emotional accessibility creates a powerful connection. When something feels within reach, people are more likely to trust it, use it, and recommend it. Trust is one of the most vital emotional currencies in automotive psychology, and the Jimny Pickup builds it effortlessly. There's also a growing fatigue among consumers, a quiet pushback against over-engineering. Many drivers are overwhelmed by the increasingly complex user interfaces, oversized infotainment systems, and endless electronic features packed into new vehicles. The Jimny Pickup offers a kind of mental relief. Its analog nature, straightforward build, and tactile feedback offer a return to driving purity. This taps into a deep emotional desire for control, the feeling that the machine is an extension of the human, not a tech-laden cage. The psychological reward of driving something you can fully understand, and even fix, cannot be overstated. It builds confidence. It nurtures a deeper sense of ownership. According to behavioral design research, humans form stronger attachments to tools and machines they understand and interact with directly. The Jimny Pickup invites that kind of interaction, fostering intimacy through simplicity. From a cultural perspective, this truck also challenges the social meaning of pickups. Traditionally, pickups in many markets symbolize dominance, utility, and masculinity, often exaggerated through size and design. But the Jimny Pickup reshapes that symbolism. It stands for efficiency, versatility, and character. It says that strength doesn't have to be loud, and purpose doesn't require bulk. It redefines toughness as adaptability, a much more modern, humanized approach. This redefinition creates room for a new kind of driver, someone who wants capability without aggression, utility without ego. That shift speaks to emerging generations who value sustainability, personality, and authenticity over brand image or size. It's not just a change in product, it's a change in values. Economically, this also marks a significant shift. Full-size pickups come with full-size price tags. They demand more fuel, more space, and often more maintenance. The Jimny Pickup, by contrast, is affordable to run, easy to maintain, and light on fuel. It appeals to what psychologists call rational minimalism, the growing desire to own fewer things but make them more meaningful and multifunctional. By combining emotional design with rational value, Suzuki has placed the Jimny Pickup in a rare psychological sweet spot. It meets both heart and mind. This blend is incredibly powerful in shaping long-term market impact. When vehicles satisfy both the emotional and practical dimensions of ownership, they don't just succeed, they create movements. The Jimny Pickup also reopens the door to DIY culture in the automotive world. Its mechanical simplicity, boxy layout, and customization potential ignite the imagination. Enthusiasts start thinking about builds, rooftop tents, tool racks, off-road gear, color wraps. This mental engagement creates a pre-ownership attachment, a well-documented psychological behavior where people bond with products before ever touching them. That bond often translates into stronger brand loyalty and word-of-mouth growth. Even the criticisms being leveled, that it's too small, underpowered, or not a real truck, only serve to sharpen its identity, because it doesn't try to be everything. It knows what it is. In a world where vehicles are often designed to please everyone, the Jimny Pickup's bold commitment to a niche gives it an edge. Psychologically, humans are drawn to certainty. A product that knows itself inspires more confidence than one that tries to be too many things at once. Its emergence is not just another model launch, it's a cultural ripple. It questions long-held assumptions about what pickups should look like, feel like, and cost. And while it may not dethrone full-size trucks in sales, it will likely influence how designers, manufacturers, and consumers think about pickups in the years to come. Because when a small vehicle can make a big emotional impact, it doesn't need to overpower the market. It just needs to offer something the rest forgot: soul. Whenever a vehicle strikes a chord deep enough to disrupt the expectations of an entire category, the first place that energy shows up is in the community. Forums light up. Social media threads become debates. Comment sections transform into echo chambers of admiration, skepticism, and anticipation. The new Suzuki Jimny Pickup has done exactly that. And the emotional temperature across the car enthusiast world is rising fast. The early reactions haven't been passive, they've been passionate. Drivers are not simply noticing the Jimny Pickup, they're connecting with it. That connection is the result of a deeper human phenomenon: tribal identity. Psychology tells us that humans naturally seek groups where they feel understood. In the world of cars, these tribes are often built not around performance specs or luxury features, but around values, and the Jimny tribe values honesty, utility, and character. The introduction of the pickup variant has strengthened that sense of belonging. It's no longer just about owning a compact off-roader, it's about representing a mindset. Across global car forums, there's a repeated theme. People are calling the Jimny Pickup the return of real utility. They're describing it as a breath of fresh air in a world of oversized and over-marketed vehicles. These aren't just compliments. They're expressions of psychological relief, the kind that comes when a product finally aligns with unspoken needs. For many, the Jimny Pickup feels like something they've been waiting for, even if they didn't know it. There's another emotion circulating through the community: anticipation. When enthusiasts imagine how they'd modify it, where they'd take it, or what they'd carry in the back, their brains are already bonding with it. According to neuroscience, the release of dopamine during anticipation is often stronger than the reward itself. This means people are already emotionally invested, even before the vehicle hits their driveway. That investment is powerful. It builds attachment, loyalty, and advocacy, all before a test drive even happens. Another interesting pattern in community feedback is the language people are using. Instead of referring to the Jimny Pickup in purely mechanical terms, many are speaking emotionally. Words like charming, loyal, character, and even soulful are being used. This is a rare form of anthropomorphism, attributing human traits to machines. When drivers start talking about a vehicle like it's a friend, it reveals something deeper. The car isn't just being evaluated, it's being felt. This emotional language shows up across all types of enthusiasts, from off-road purists to urban drivers to vintage collectors. Each group sees something different in the Jimny Pickup, but they all resonate with the simplicity of intent. It doesn't try to impress with noise. It doesn't overwhelm with features. It stands firm in what it offers, and because of that, it's being interpreted as authentic. Authenticity, in psychological terms, is a signal of trustworthiness. It makes people feel safe, understood, and seen. The global response also highlights another layer of psychology at play: individualism without isolation. Car culture has often been divided between extremes, loud and bold, or minimal and quiet. The Jimny Pickup sits in the middle. It's distinct, but not obnoxious. It's unique, but still relatable. For many drivers, especially those tired of trends, this middle ground is a perfect emotional fit. They want to feel different without being disconnected. They want personality, not pretense. Customization has become another hot topic. Enthusiasts are already sketching ideas, sharing mock builds, and discussing possible upgrades. Roof racks, all-terrain tires, modular beds, even camper conversions. This behavior taps into a psychological drive called projective identity, when people use products as canvases to express who they are. The Jimny Pickup offers just enough space and simplicity to invite creative freedom. It doesn't lock the user into a role, it invites them to write their own. Even in parts of the community that don't typically gravitate towards Suzuki, there's a tone of respect. Truck purists who usually scoff at anything below full size are admitting the Jimny Pickup makes sense. It's winning admiration not by overpowering the competition, but by offering a smarter, cleaner, more thoughtful way to approach utility. That quiet confidence is reshaping conversations across the enthusiast space. Respect born from restraint is one of the most underappreciated psychological forces in car culture, and Suzuki has tapped into it perfectly. Interestingly, this shift in perception isn't just emotional, it's social. Car communities are not just about machines, they're about values. When a vehicle like the Jimny Pickup enters the conversation, it gives people a new shared symbol to rally around. It's a conversation starter, a lifestyle statement, a way to say, I see things differently. In a psychological sense, it becomes a mirror, reflecting back the kind of driver someone wants to be. All of this contributes to what researchers call collective enthusiasm, a powerful emotional feedback loop where individual excitement multiplies through community energy. This is why the buzz around the Jimny Pickup feels so electric. Every photo, every leak, every confirmed spec becomes fuel for discussion, speculation, and imagination. People aren't just observing, they're participating. That participation turns interest into culture. What we're seeing now is more than just hype, it's emotional alignment. The Jimny Pickup arrives at a time when the car world is desperate for balance. Drivers want capability without excess, design without arrogance, fun without flash. And the reactions from real car lovers, not influencers, not advertisers, but actual enthusiasts, confirm that this little pickup has struck a nerve that most automakers didn't even realize existed. It may not carry the horsepower of a V8. It may not have the luxury of a high-end SUV. But what it does carry is far more rare, meaning it reminds people why they fell in love with driving in the first place. It gives them a reason to care again. And in today's automotive world, that's revolutionary.